A Fox 5 year to remember. We have a recap of all of the top stories in the DMV for 2024. 2024 started off with nearly a half foot of snow across the region on Martin Luther King Day.
I love snow. I can't complain. I made a snowman on our balcony, 15th floor up.
In February, we had our second and last snowfall in the DMV. A weekend snowfall in mid-February left a few inches of powder and a blast of cold air. February ended in tragedy for a group of volunteer firefighters in Loudoun County. This home in Sterling exploded after a 500-gallon underground propane tank leaked, killing firefighter Trevor Brown.
In a sense, we lost a family member.
He just believed in service. He believed in giving back to his community. He was a volunteer firefighter. He didn't have to do that. He wanted to do that because he felt an obligation to serve.
In March, tragedy in Baltimore. The Key Bridge collapses after a cargo ship that loses power and crashes into the bridge. Several workers fell to their death. The bridge collapse dominated the news headlines for weeks.
Shocking video from the city of Baltimore.
Fox 5 led the coverage all day after the collapse.
A Fox 5's team of reporters still on the ground tonight.
Tonight, officials saying there's no timeline for when they expect the channel to be clear.
Many of you around the DMV hit the road in April to catch a glimpse of the solar eclipse. People in the D.C. area were not in the path of totality, but took a plane, train, or automobile to see the phenomenon.
1, 2, 3, Stumpy!
In April, we said goodbye to Stumpy, the cherry blossom tree. Many people stopping by the tidal basin to say farewell to the tree, including George Washington, Teddy Roosevelt, and the National Symphony Orchestra. So why did Stumpy need to go?
It's sad, but it has to be done in order to repair the seawall.
In May, we saw pictures from some parts of Virginia of the Northern Lights, another spectacular show in the sky. June brought one of the biggest weather stories of the year. Tornadoes ripped through the area, starting in Virginia and swirling across the Potomac into Montgomery County.
Right here, you can see it. There's your tornado.
Oh,
power
gosh,
flash.
power
Oh my
surge.
goodness. Power flash right there in Montgomery County.
Once summer heated up, so did the election. It kicked off with a debate between Donald Trump and President Joe Biden.
As I said, 15 million new jobs, 800,000 manufacturing jobs, more investment in America, over billions of dollars in private investment in enterprises that we are growing.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
President Biden stumbled, and calls for him to step down grew loud.
Take a look at what happened.
In July, former President Donald Trump appeared in Pennsylvania in front of hundreds of supporters, where he was nearly assassinated before Secret Service stepped in. Just a week later, President Biden drops out of the race through a letter to the U.S. on a weekend night. Support quickly grew for Vice President Kamala Harris to take the nomination. Before the summer was over, Fox 5 viewers were locked in on a true crime case playing out right here in Virginia. It continued to develop for months.
We knocked on their front door. Mapta's husband tells Fox 5 he called police on Friday, August 2nd.
Officially, police knows on Friday.
And an official report was filed days later.
Yes.
He had to get back to their 11-month-old baby, but did say,
everybody tried to fight in a positive way, that's all. I don't have any word. It's like, mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever these means, I'm really suffering from a lot.
We were here to get justice for Manta, and I think we accomplished that today by getting the first-degree murder charge.
August ended with D.C. politics taking center stage when the feds moved in and took Councilman Trayon White into custody. The Ward 8 council member is accused of taking bribes and directing government funds to go to specific contractors. Commanders fever took over in September. The team had the entire region buzzing as Jaden Daniels took over as quarterback and Dan Quinn stepped in as the new head coach. And Northwest Stadium turned into a madhouse with JD5 putting up that Hail Mary against the Bears on October 27th.
And the ball is caught! Caught! It's a miracle!
Do you eat food at work? Many won't after hearing about the mass illness at a Maryland seafood distributor. Also in October, dozens of people got sick after eating food from a coworker. Staying in October, this is the scene that Fox 5 viewers are so familiar with. More street races across the DMV. This one happening in Virginia went viral all over the world. In November, election night was upon us, and it ends with a familiar face returning to the White House. It was a decisive victory for former President Donald Trump.
This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country, and maybe beyond.
On November 5th, Kamala Harris set the stage at Howard University. She never made that election night victory speech, conceding to former President Donald Trump the next day.
The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for, but hear me when I say, the light of America's promise will always burn bright.
December began with a major arrest with the Maryland connection. The man accused of killing the CEO of United Healthcare in New York City arrested in Pennsylvania. 26-year-old Luigi Mangione was born and raised in Maryland and went to school at the Gilman School in Baltimore. 2024 ending with record-breaking holiday travel. Millions hit the roads, rails, and runways to get to their holiday destination. Airports across the DMV were packed with passengers. Many more stories to follow in 2025. Fox 5 will stay ahead of the competition, so make sure you download the Fox Local mobile app and follow all the big stories in the future, starting with Inauguration Day on January 20th.